Well, hello, and now that we finished the Mega Explain, let's go to the Gigantamax! I know that was a dumb thing to do, but you know what? That's where we are. Gigantamax.
Whoa, have you seen that Gigantamax Battle Royale animation by Terminal Montage?
That I helped write.
Well, if not, do yourself a favor and watch that first. Link in the description and up here. It's way better.
And once again, guys, definitely check out their channel, like their videos, subscribe, and all that stuff.
I've worked with Terminal Montage. I've watched a Scott the Woz video, and that's like 2 out of 3 cool. Now all I need to do is get
Wait, what?
So, in this video, I'm going to explain what happened and perhaps why. And I say perhaps here because...
Also, why are you purple? Is that supposed to be a reference to the Gigantamax thing? The raid dens are purple?
With regular Pokemon,
Probably.
baby Pokemon, and legendary Pokemon, there are a lot of...
Now I kind of want to put in my purple light, but I'm not going to.
Episodes and cards to go off of. And even though Mega Pokemon only had a couple, for the most part, they are just the same Pokemon, but more, and in excruciating pain. And I suppose Gigantamax is also just kind of more of them, but like a lot more. But there are
I know I said I was gonna do it, but we gotta do it.
Size of this, or if it's all of
Gotta match the guy, you know?
It's
Why not?
very hand wavy. Biologically speaking, there's no way something alive can be that big. And yeah, years later, I still think it's a silly gimmick, but let's get into it. The simulation begins showing Eternamax Eternatus, the source of Dynamax energy, though it itself is not a Gigantamax Pokemon. It is a Eternamax one, so it doesn't take part in the actual battle. But it does make sure to distribute energy evenly to all Pokemon who deserve a Gigantamax form, except for these ones. That's the joke. They really should have gotten them. They deserve it. Now, Leon's Gigantamax Charizard seems particularly aggressive and powerful, and to prove it here, it's burning at 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, which goes even higher when it roars, and it's melting buildings and trying to melt all these Melton, who are all over the city because of Pokemon Go Pokestops being all over the city, and the Melton helplessly run to Lapras's back for protection, as Lapras are incredibly caring and loving, and with Gigantamax, the Pokedex states over 5,000 people can ride on it at once, and it's a perfectly comfortable ride. So of course, Lapras wants to help get the little Melton to safety.
That's cute.
Gigantamax Lapras is all about that Aurora Veil, a protective shield that reduces the damage done to it, and it already is a pretty beefy Pokemon. Here, the shield protects it from even Charizard's fire. The Melton realize, though, that their soft bodies are still in danger from the heat, and so they run. Meanwhile, a very long cat Meowth ruins the economy with its signature move, Gold Rush, which creates up to 99,999 Pokédollars worth of Meowth coins. It's just payday but bigger. But hey, that's a lot of gold! And the perfect time for Melton to combine into Melmetal, who then Gigantamaxes due to all of the Dynamax energy all over the place. And it just absorbs all of the gold into its body. That's what they do. Absorb other metals. In this case, it's now becoming a gold mercury amalgam, or a gold tantalum alloy, depending on what Melmetal really is. We have a few videos about that, actually.
Okay.
Poor Meowth, though, the not-so-lucky cat, is so up there
I love
that it's just a big target. It's no wonder that it's the first to go. It gets sniped by Gigantamax and Teleon, who itself isn't much bigger, but it now sits atop a tower that is its giant tail, and it snipes with a water sniper rifle.
I love that.
Grimmsnarl is making the ground shake, and it uses its signature move, G-Max Snooze, on a Snorlax. Maybe this ogre troll isn't the most intelligent? This changes almost nothing for Snorlax, who is always sleeping. And eating 880 pounds of food per day, and that's before it Gigantamaxes. So of course, when it sees Alchemy, who is Cake, Snorlax needs to try to eat her out of existence. Too bad, she's too far. But what is she doing? Why, throwing her 100,000 kilocalorie cake missiles at a bird, of course. No wonder Snorlax is interested. But that bird's name? Albertine? No, it's Reginald. Reginald the Corviknight, who, as you see behind it, whips up hurricane-like winds as it flies about. And it's surrounded by up to 8 blade birds, which are independent feathers that attack others, like fighter jets.
That's cool.
Somehow. Hand wavy giganto magic. Well, the poor bird is also busy dodging shots fired from Gigantamax Blastoise, who quite literally is a battleship war fort.
That is awesome.
So it's like a cool aircraft naval battle, World War II style, but with birds instead of aircraft. Meanwhile, Venusaur swings around two thick vines. If these vines slammed into a 10-story building, they could easily topple it. That's a Pokedex quote. So, kind of has to do that. Here's another Pokedex quote. Huge amounts of pollen burst from it with the force of a volcanic eruption. Breathing in too much of the pollen can cause fainting. So that's what it does after it gets slapped with a cake missile. Must be a gluten intolerance. Also, when Gigantamax Eevee doesn't have much going for it. It's fluffy and cute and fluffy and big. So it's an easy target for whoever. In this case, Orbeetle, who is quite literally a UFO now. So Gigantamax Cinderace has only a slightly larger body. Most of the Gigantamax energy goes into its ball, which is now 300 feet in diameter exactly, and is infused with Cinderace's spirit, acting almost like it has a will of its own. Thus, it never misses.
Nice.
It roasts whoever it hits. That accuracy and heat leads to a perfect shot right through Alchemy, who normally is able to withstand hard blows like this due to its cakey cake legs. But cream melts and cakes burn, and Venusaur is on fire now.
Here are 3 reasons why you should buy new gaming.
I love that.
1, we offer the best pricing on quality gaming.
Good thing Corviknight is agile and dodges Cinderace's ball, though. But remember, it never misses. So it turns around. The Pokedex specifies for us that Snorlax is one of the biggest of the Gigantamaxed Mon, stating it is the size of a mountain. The Pokedex also specifies that Caparaja can change the landscape and level mountains with its trunk. And being bred to be a friendly construction equipment that loves to work, it would certainly go right for a mon that looks like an out-of-place hill or mountain that should be flattened. So Snorlax is like a big Katamari ball, rolling around, picking up everything it can. It squishes Cinderace because, again, its actual body is not much bigger, and Snorlax finally gets to eat Alchemy. Blastoise is a battleship, right? Well, Dreadnought is too. In fact, it's the Dreadnought, as well as an early ironclad warship. The whole deal with those is that they were able to ram into the sides of other warships and completely destroy them while it
so that's the reference. Okay.
it rams and breaks Blastoise.
Okay.
And the very narrow, flat, and short-legged Caparaja gets knocked over and can't get up after a surprise attack from Sandaconda, and then, being copper, gets absorbed by Melmetal. Sandaconda has a shotgun blunderbuss snout, and now it holds a literal 1,000,000 tons of sand in its body that it shoots out of there, with such speed and power that it can pulverize a skyscraper. So when the pollen starts making it sneeze wildly, it knocks over Duraludon, who, when Gigantamaxed, is a skyscraper. Specifically the Shard in London.
Okay.
You know what's great about swirling sand? If you make it hot, you start to get glass. So here's Centiskorch, who, when attacking, makes the shape of a heater coil.
Okay.
And here's Colossal, who's both a coal mine and a coal furnace. Here's the thing, though. Centiskorch is only 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit and is fire bug type. Colossal, 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit and fire rock. So clearly, there's an advantage there. Both
Yeah.
the temperature and that 4 times weakness to rock that Centiskorch has. So it has no chance against Max Rockfall. Colossal does have a disadvantage when against the other tanky rock type Dreadnought, however. But it's way over there. It's fine. So I didn't know that Dreadnought could do that until the anime did it. And it's hilarious, right? Also,
Oh wow, that's a direct reference to the anime.
Stone Surge, which blasts water so hard it destroys the surrounding ground and rocks and forms stealth rocks, so broken rock shards all over the place. Perfect for blasting right through Colossal. Oh hey, here's the ape! Gigantamax Rillaboom, like the other starters, isn't much bigger itself, rather its accessories are bigger. In this case, it has an entire drum set made out of trees that it uses to control giant tree roots underground with music, which it does here to restrain Colossal and shove a tree in its mouth, King Kong versus Godzilla style. Dreadnought is also an alligator snapping turtle though, so...
I love these references, by the
What's
way.
this? Godzilla,
It's nice to know why they did what they did.
Tyranitar's arch nemesis, Duraludon. This whole scene plays out exactly like the King Kong and Godzilla fight against Mechagodzilla. But oh no! Without the drum set, Gigantamax Rillaboom isn't much different from regular Rillaboom, so he does the monkey. Wait, no. Don't shoot the gorilla. Well, at least Inteleon gets what's coming to it. Big, tall, narrow tail tower. How perfectly snippable by Kingler, who has a bubble beard that makes it look a bit like Santa. According to the Pokedex, those bubbles are strongly alkaline, which is the opposite of acidic. But the fun fact is that anything too far in either direction will burn or melt things.
Oh.
So, any opponents hit by them will have their bodies quickly melted away, says the Pokedex. See, these bubbles float and spread out all over the place, and Butterfree is a big, floating, slow target with highly sensitive wings. All it takes is a small burn, and it goes down Mothra style.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Elsewhere, Rapid Style Urshifu has been dealing chip damage to the fat-as-heck Snorlax, whose G-Max move
Chip damage.
has a 50% chance of restoring any berries it's eaten already. Good old already eaten leftovers. Gross. So, this whole bit with Charizard. According to Gigantamax Gengar's Pokedex entries, rumor has it that its gigantic mouth leads not to its body, filled with cursed energy, but instead directly to the afterlife. And it lays traps, hoping to steal the lives of those it catches. If you stand in front of its mouth, you'll hear your loved ones' voices calling out to you. It's a common ghost trope, luring the living into traps by showing them illusionary things that they want, or a loved one calling out to them. Oh yes, Daddy, come here. I didn't die in a car crash. I'm just through this doorway that wasn't here a second ago. Please.
That is creepy, but kind of cool.
And then they eat you. It's that. And Charizard is like the ultimate overrated Pokemon. Like, everyone at Game Freak loves it, and every other person in the fandom loves it. And Charizard cards are extremely valuable because of how much everyone loves it. And it's every normie's favorite Pokemon, etc., etc. It's the easiest one to make fall for this trap. Straight to
Funny thing is, I think Charizard is my favorite Pokemon from Kanto. I made a top 10 video. I don't think it's on YouTube right now. I might post it again one day. But I believe it was my favorite top 10 from Kanto.
But also, Gigantamax energy upped the fluffiness of the fur around Eevee's neck. The fur will envelop a foe, capturing its body and captivating its mind. So it gives Gengar a fur ball, weakening it a bit physically, and impairing its judgment a tad, making it attack Garbodor next. Garbodor has no loved ones. And even with regular Garbodor, the toxic liquid it launches from its right arm is so virulent that it can kill a weakened creature instantly. And the toxins will seep in all the way down to your bones. Gengar may have no bones, and is poison type itself, but Garbodor is so gross and it just willingly shoved itself into Gengar's mouth. So Gengar collapses in on itself. Like when you eat something super disgusting and sour, like, except you're a ghost, so it all goes in. Now remember earlier, Orbeetle crashed, so why are these Melton helping dig it up? Well, Orbeetle's whole thing is mind control, and when Gigantamaxed, if it were to utilize every bit of its power, it could control the minds of every living thing in the vicinity. Arguably though, not entire Gigantamax Pokemon, but little Pokemon? Sure. So it's mind controlling some of the Melton who snap out of it after it's free, and they go back to Melmetal later. Now,
okay.
and Appleton, despite being two different Pokemon, have matching Gigantamax forms. The heck? So we used this opportunity to reference an episode of Neon Genesis Evangelion, where the two Evas have to match each other's moves absolutely perfectly in order to defeat this angel that looks a bit like Gigantamax Melmetal, wouldn't you say? So
Okay.
Burp up acidic apple later.
Never seen that anime, but now at least I get what's going on.
Melmetal can't absorb it, and melts because it's easily meltable. It's in the name. Kingler snips Orbeetle in half because it can pulverize anything, but then it gets by single strike Urshifu. These jokes write themselves. And look, Grimmsnarl is about to drill kick single Urshifu. These kicks are said to bore all the holes in Galar's terrain. But
Dang.
Galar is so beautiful. Why would you ruin it by putting giant holes in it? This makes Fat Pikachu aghast. So it shocks the Grimmy, And Gigantamax Pikachu honestly doesn't have, like, anything. It's fatter. And it shoots lightning. Ooh. Pikachu doesn't do that normally. That's really all it gets. But being so rotund, it loves the smell of those Applemon. Unfortunately, one of them gets crushed under a Blastoise thrown by Machamp. According to the Pokedex, Machamp once used its immeasurable strength to lift a large ship that was in trouble. It then carried the ship to port. Blastoise is a ship of sorts here, so yeah, there you go. These jokes write themselves. So what's the deal with Hatterene this whole time? Well, she's been slowly having a meltdown. It hates when others feel strong emotion, and there's been a lot of that in this fight and all around it, and I imagine the people in the city aren't too thrilled about the second coming of the Darkest Day either. Gigantamax Hatterene is known to some as the Raging Goddess. This Pokemon can read the emotions of creatures over 30 miles away. The minute it senses hostility, it goes on the attack.
Okay.
So it lashes out against the aghast Pikachu for being closest and feeling some strong emotions at the moment. Pika! Then Toxtricity does its big guitar smack, which is way too loud because that's its whole shtick. It's loud and obnoxious. Another Hatterene Pokedex entry. If you are too loud around it, you risk being torn apart by the claws on its tentacle. It hates loud noises too, ain't that great? And that's what Toxtricity is all about. So, that and all this chaos sends Hatterene over the edge.
Oh, I love that.
Snaps anime mental breakdown style, and beams like lightning shoot from her tentacles, according to the Pokedex.
I like that.
Machamp does that thing it always does, but to poor, fat, doughy Pikachu. And this psycho fairy lightning is just smiting all of the Pokemon around it. Hatterene is very powerful, you see, but Machamp sees another opportunity. It throws yet another ship straight at Hatterene. Another detail here is that Machamp's fists glow hot with punchy power. Each punch is like a bomb explosion when Gigantamaxed. But now, it's chilled out, literally,
Dang.
Lapras. And now, Rapid-style Urshifu gets to Dabu Dabu Dabu, the Dabu Dabu Dabber, gives Machamp a taste of its own medicine.
Nice.
And the final showdown is between Rapid-style Urshifu and Lapras. Why? Well, when it comes to the card game, both Urshifus are considered the best, highest top-tier VMAX cards that are actually based on Gigantamax Pokemon. There's some Calyrex VMAX cards and Dragapult VMAX cards that are also contenders for the best of the best, but they aren't Gigantamax Pokemon, so they're not being considered here. But yeah, and Lapras is up there too, found in every top 10 list I could find. Always S or A tier. So how about the lore? Well, in that case, Urshifu does get the legendary buff, but its whole story in the game is that there are many Cubfu, and you need to train one of them because it kind of stinks right now. And like, in the anime, we do see an Urshifu one-punch a Regice, so there's that. Basically, it's a legendary Pokemon, so that's a plus, but it's kind of a not as important one. It's kind of lame, you know? Also, Lapras is specifically kind and caring, which doesn't make itself a big target. It's not actively looking for a fight or a challenge the whole time. It's in this battle royale the way both Urshifu would, meaning Urshifu is likely taking more damage over time as it's fighting multiple opponents. Lapras is kind of a camper. So now, how about the game specifically? Well, Rapid-style Gigantamax Urshifu does have a slightly higher stat total and a fighting type advantage over Lapras. However, Gigantamax Rapid-style Urshifu's most powerful signature move is Water type, which Lapras resists. On top of this, in the competitive meta that allows Gigantamax Pokemon for some reason, Gigantamax Lapras is generally believed to be the most powerful and useful of all of the Gigantamax Pokemon.
Nice.
The toppest of top tiers. Only knocked down slightly after the introduction of Urshifu. You'll see why in a moment. But Gigantamax Lapras is Ice type, which is great at killing the powerful dragons, and it's pretty tanky even before Gigantamaxing, which makes all Pokemon kinda tanky. And Lapras does have HP and special defense as its highest stats, and on top of that tankiness, its signature move, G-Max Resonance, not only inflicts high damage, but also sets up a free Aurora Veil on top of that. What's Aurora Veil? It's a move that normally can only be activated if it's currently hailing. But Gigantamax Lapras also just bypasses that extra setup time. It's just allowed to do it. And when the Veil is created, it lasts 5 turns, and during those 5 turns, it reduces all incoming damage from attacks and special attacks by half. And it's already a tank!
That's insane. By half?
I've been getting paid $1,000.
Golly.
However, that being said, Urshifu's signature moves bypass this Veil.
Oh.
The description is that they hit the target for full damage, even if it is protected by a protection move.
Oh.
It even includes max guard, hence the whole line. Lapras puts up its defense thinking that it's good, but it's not. It's a fool for doing that, you know? But this is also why Urshifu is kind of up there and knocking Lapras down a bit, because it sort of is specifically designed to get past Lapras's point. But despite that, Gigantamax Lapras is still a freaking chonker. When it comes to surviving battle royales, defense is the ultimate weapon, which I believe is why Gigantamax Lapras would win a Gigantamax battle royale most of the time. To be honest, it is close between Lapras and Urshifu R. Both are pretty up there, along with Charizard being just a beast that can melt anything. But why Urshifu R and not Urshifu S? That typically just comes down to type distribution and meta. Most agree that Urshifu R's fighting water type combo is vastly superior to Urshifu S's fighting dark. While it might have more weaknesses, it also has vastly more resistances. And also, nothing it's ×4 weak to. And also, because of R's attacks hitting multiple times, it breaks through disguises and substitutes, and it's just better all around, really. And again, in a battle royale situation, being able to rapidly strike and block opponents all around you is far superior to occasionally being able to take out one opponent every now and again. Super high offensive abilities are also what led Charizard and Grimmsnarl onto this list, and the sheer tankiness of Snorlax and Dreadnought help them out too. And Hatterene is here as a combination of its stats and utility. Being able to confuse those around it and heal also is pretty beneficial, but not enough to take the top spot since she's a bit unhinged. Also,
what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
That's a quote from Dr. Freeze, but Dr. Freeze is wrong. The dinosaurs died way before the Ice Age even happened. And there you have it. That's the reason that Gigantamax Battle Royale was the way it was. Now go watch it again, because I love Pouty Rillaboom the most. And I'm sure there's loads of hidden little jokes and Easter eggs that you missed. Go find them. There's loads. And
Like I
also,
said, guys,
you
check
are
out their
encouraged
videos.
To check out our other videos all about overanalyzing Pokemon all over the channel. And if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. And until next time, never stop using your noggin.
I love that. Well, like I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Definitely check out their channel, like their stuff, subscribe, and all that good stuff to them. Until next time, it's your boy BlazeNpi saying, OUT, out of here!